down there getting ready for the first time. The energy's flowing again. It feels like a sitcom because like the whole gang's back together, and there's so many good personalities on this team. We're already meshing super well. A lot of success coming for us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Outside of Canal Park, as you can see in the background, today is Akron Rubber Ducks Media Day, and we have the absolute honor and privilege to be invited here. Get to talk to the manager, some of the top prospects, Chase DeLauter, Khalil Watson, and others. We're super excited, so keep an eye on the 330 to go page. We're going to be posting videos. We'll be posting pictures. We'll hope to see how many interviews we can get. Jay's going to probably do most of the talking. So
sometimes.
So
most of the time, I'm excited for the food.
Awesome.
Let's see what they're going to release this year.
I can't wait. Food is amazing. We get to try it as well. So enjoy the day, folks. Yeah, look at
Baseball's here.
What's different from last year for Petey Halpin? How have you gone from 1 year here? What do you see the differences in yourself as a ball player?
Yeah, I mean, constantly working on everything and just trying to improve. Spent a lot of time in Arizona. A lot of the coaches just trying to, figure out my swing, figure out ways I could, better my approach. I've started a little bit wider this year, so just trying to make more, solid contact and just have better impact quality and just kind of lean on that and just be a little bit more selective this year. Just constantly working on a lot of things with my swing, and that was kind of the main focus.
More relaxed knowing you're back here for a second year to start. You were here a year ago.
I think so. I think I'm comfortable. It comes like a little bit of an advantage, I think, playing again in the same conference, same league. And, the guys, the team around me, it's a great group of guys. I feel like I'm in a good spot, and I'm excited.
You got to play under Greg DiCenzo in 22 a little bit. What's he like?
D's man. I mean, he's a great coach, great person. Loves spending time with us. We love spending time with him. But makes us work pretty hard, which is good. Keep everyone accountable, and hopefully the work that we put in out here, it translates to the game. So.
Petey, what's one thing you're looking forward to Friday night for opening night?
Getting a knock, getting the first win, and starting off the season on a good note.
Is there an adjustment playing in cold weather after Arizona?
For sure, definitely. From California, I enjoy the nice weather and playing baseball in good weather, but you got to get used to it. And there's definitely an adjustment, but this will be my third year playing in the cold, so hopefully I'm a little bit more prepared than I was before.
Petey, what's your favorite thing about playing in Akron for a second year?
Favorite thing, I love the stadium. It's amazing. Love the outfield, how big it is, and Shad or Clubby is incredible. So I think that's a nice thing to come back to.
You need to be around the Major League Club in spring training. What did you take away? What impressed you?
I mean, really, that was an unbelievable experience. I think that just being around the guys and trying to learn as much as I could. I think Stephen Kwan and I connected a lot, and just seeing how he goes about his business and how he's a professional. And, I try to just pick up on little things that he did that I can bring back to my game. And he was awesome and really took me under his wing, and that was super special.
You mentioned working on things kind of offensively for you. You guys both, have spent a lot of time in that leadoff role. What kind of advice did he offer to you?
Just trust myself and just, the season's going to have its highs and lows, and just try to ride it and, not get too low, don't get too high. And leadoff spot's a tough job. You get the most at-bats, and I feel like I'm always, in a situation where I might be up to bat that inning. And just staying locked in, I think it's the biggest thing. Just try to understand patterns and figure little things out. Any, tips, anything on the pitchers, just being aware of the game and knowing that, you're not just playing when you're on the field or in the box, but the game's, going on all the time.
When fans watch you play, they leave the park. What impression do you want to leave on the fans going, this is what Petey Halpin does?
Has fun, smiles, plays the game hard, plays the game the right way, and hopefully, put on a show.
You came out of high school to become a professional baseball player, and kind of during that time, a lot of people would be going to college, sort of studying for. Do you feel like you've like kind of built on a degree in baseball almost?
Yeah, I think, college is great, and, that's a good route for sure. But, I like the decision I made, and, I'm trusting everything that I'm doing, and couldn't be around a better group of guys and better people to like kind of help me mature a little bit. So, from my experience, it's been awesome, and I think I made the right decision.
Cool. Thanks, Petey.
Thank you.
You're buried in spring training for as long as we are. Sometimes any type of game that breaks the monotony of spring training is a good environment and a good opportunity for them to really dust it off and play a game-like scenario. So yeah, that was a lot of fun for the guys. And like I said, I think more than anything, I mean, we were playing the Reds, who we play, I feel, 5,000 times in spring training. But at the end of the day, it is a chance to put a uniform on and compete a little bit for 7 or 8 innings. So it was good.
Nice, the fans stuck around for it after the long first game.
Yeah, decent crowd for sure. Especially as a night game out there, it gets chilly, as you know, at night, and most folks out in Arizona aren't used to the cold weather. So it was a good environment for the players. Like I said, it was a good walkthrough for what's to come here in early April.
Talk about Chase DeLauter a little bit. Huge breakout season over spring.
Yeah, I mean, a fantastic spring for him. He really showed that he belongs on the field with the big boys, and let's hope that continues and the lights are on here when the standings count and the scores count. Certainly not to discredit everything that he did in the spring. I think if anything, it shows him, it proves to himself that he belongs, and for those around him at the big league level, the guys that saw him every day, I think there's some excitement certainly surrounding him as a person and him as a player.
How do you think a couple of players on the team hanging around the big guys up there in the majors influence your team?
I just think the ability to see the effort that they put forth every day, their attention to detail and the intent with which they work is huge. You'll see here, and if you've done any homework on me, I think the amount of work that we put in on the field is probably second to none. It's good to see them have an opportunity to watch the guys at the elite level do that every single day, and again, their attention to detail and their focus every single day, that every single rep matters. And for these guys that are so close that they can taste it, it's good for them to see that in spring and be able to hopefully lean on those tenets and values that they saw early in spring and use that throughout the course of the season.
Chase seems so well-grounded for a guy whose ceiling is pretty high.
Yeah, and again, I think part of that is, he comes from from James Madison, where he probably wasn't playing in front of 15,000 people every single night. In fact, I know that he wasn't, having been in that league as a college coach way back in the day. I think he goes about his work the right way. He's a true professional, and he is where his feet are. And I think that's a big piece of any young player who's tasted some success, that you want to be where your feet are, and hopefully have a chance to build on that every single day that you can muster the job.
Coach, what are some expectations for not only you but the team heading into this year?
Yeah, expectations. It's a scary word, right? It's that's really all it is expectations. So for me, just worrying about what we can control, and it's coming out here every single day and working really hard and outworking the person sitting next to you and the team in the other dugout, and wanting to be here more than anybody else. And those are expectations that I have, that you're going to friggin' compete every single day. When the lights are on, the scoreboard's on, it's going to matter. And your job as an athlete, no matter what you're doing, is to tilt that scoreboard in your favor. Obviously, being a great teammate is super important to us. We talk about leading all the time, but one of the things we talked a lot about is it's impossible to be a good leader if you're not a good teammate first. So those are the expectations that you'll see here. Guys that will come out here every single night for 100 and whatever games we play, 138 games, and compete their tails off.
The Guardians have the first pick in the draft. I know it's in the future, we don't know who it's going to be, but does it give you kind of a little excitement knowing that you'll be able to eventually possibly guide that player on the path?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's excitement throughout the organization for sure, that you have a chance to if you do your homework and you do it right, then you have a difference maker somewhere along the lines. But my concern obviously is all the dudes out here in white pants right now. That's all I'm concerned about. It doesn't matter who the number one pick is, and it might be a little while before they find their way through Akron or Lake County or Columbus for that matter. But my concern right now is to treat every single one of these guys like they're the number one pick overall, and put them in a position where they can help Cleveland win a World Series at some point down the road.
First game of the season coming up. What's a couple of main points you want to see out of your guys Friday night?
Yeah, I want to see them have fun, to be honest with you. Hopefully they can come out here and we've talked a lot about competing and a lot about what that looks like when the lights are on. I'd like them to come in here and have fun and start to become one with each other as a team. To be quite frank, it's really hard. I don't think we've all been on the same field together in spring training, to be quite frank. You have pitchers in one area. I don't know if you know how the dynamics of how spring training works. You got guys in different games, and you got sim games going on, and you got games over at the White Sox, some games at home, and I haven't really had a chance to address the team in full even yet. I got in pretty late last night, so I didn't have a chance yet to really sit down and chat with our group collectively outside of spring training for 5 minutes before we all broke camp. So I'd like them to just go in here and be themselves and have fun. And my job as a coach, our job as a staff, is to make sure that we get to know each player individually and know that we care more about the player in the front of that baseball card than the numbers on the back. And if we can support them as people first and players second, I think we're going to be in a really good spot to build that trust with them and to push them really hard. And I'll push them really hard too. So they know that. Guys that have played for me. I have a lot of guys here that have played for me in the past in Lake County. 2 years ago, that team we had a lot of success in Lake County 2 years ago. A lot of those faces are here now, so they've been accustomed to me, and I'm accustomed to them and how I operate and what my expectations are, and I know how to push them, how to when to get on them, when to give them a hug when they need to, and when to push them when they need to.
How was Doug Nikhazy selected for the first game?
You're going to have to ask the folks down the road in Cleveland. Or ask our pitching group. That's not – so a lot of our rotations, as you know, is not a roundtable discussion. It probably is within our pitching group, but there's so many tentacles and arms that are touching, the ground here in Akron that Dougie was named star for Friday night. And he deserves it, to be honest with you. I say that tongue-in-cheek, but obviously – based on his talent level and how he's improved as a pitcher and his consistency in throwing strikes, I think, obviously his ceiling was tremendously high, but his ability to throw strikes now is he's closed that gap, and that's been fun to see. He made a major jump from where I saw him last. I had him in Lake County, didn't see him last year because I was in Columbus last year, and now I'm coming back here and have a chance to see him in spring training for the first time in a year. He's a different guy than I saw 12 months ago, so hopefully you see that 48 hours from now.
To start, how deep are your starters going about so far this season?
Yeah, good question. We've been building up in spring training. I think you're going to see a couple guys tonight that are going to roll out, 4 or 5 innings tonight. You're probably going to be in that same ballpark. I don't know how much weather will play a factor in that, but a lot of times you see weather coupled with, how long our offensive innings are. Hopefully have some really long offensive innings where it'll be a tough decision to make whether we send a pitcher back out rather than the other way around. So I think you're going to see hopefully get into some middle innings, and obviously like I said, if you've done your homework and seen our bullpen, you've got a locked and loaded bullpen here in Akron that everybody should be really excited about. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys.
Ready? Breakout game, a lot of fun.
Yes, it was a lot of fun.
Really regroup yourself and then really just lit it up after the first game.
Yeah, settled in a little bit. It was a huge honor, and I was really happy to get the nod by them for that. So we came out a little bit hot, and then settled in really well. Joel and the rest of the pitching staff were really good about how to talk to me and how to get the best out of me. So it was fun.
Really something to build on too.
Yes, definitely. It's good to just be in that environment before we get here, throw in front of people, used to the back games and all that stuff. So it was good to get out in front of people on a big mound, big stage.
Doug, how excited are you to start Friday night here?
Oh, I'm pumped. I'm really excited. I know that Akron always shows out the crowds and everything, so really excited to help us hopefully win a few more games this year.
Speaking of a few more games, expectations for the team and then for yourself for the season.
For the team, I'll start with that. This is a really good group. We were just down there getting ready for the first time. The energy's flowing again. It feels like a sitcom because like the whole gang's back together, and there's so many good personalities in this team. We're already meshing super well. So a lot of success coming for us, I predict. And then for me personally, really just focusing on the now. I know that April's right in front of me, and I just want to come out, get some really good starts under my belt, and put together something I can build off of so that when I get to mid-season form, I can really go out and attack it.
What did you work on the most in the off season and during spring training?
I had a really big, long, arduous off season. Once I left in September, not with the feelings I wanted to leave with, I sat down and talked with the pitching staff, specifically Joel Mangrum worked with me the whole time, and I can't thank him enough because we were like, how are we going to throw more strikes? How are we going to attack the zone a little bit better and maybe add a little velo at the same time? So I spent a lot of time in Arizona, lowering arm slot a little bit, getting myself in a spot where my misses won't be so north-south and we'll be pounding lower portion of the zone a little bit more often. And I feel really good. I'm really confident with the way I threw in spring training and looking forward to the season now.
Were there any Guardians pitchers who offered guidance?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I had the pleasure of living with Tanner Bivey during spring training, and he's always been a really close friend of mine, and he's just really supportive, and he knows a lot about the game of baseball. So all the tips here and there and just like daily passing were extremely helpful.
How do the young guys feel when you see a guy like Bieber go to drive line? He's been around a long time, done a lot of good things, but still wants to take that next step, get better again, get velo back. To see him do that, what do the young guys think about that?
It shows that like old dogs can learn new tricks. He's not an old dog. I don't mean to say that, but I mean he continues to show that you can continue to get better even after you won Cy Young, right? It doesn't. The learning curve never stops, and that's why I think the Guardians one of the best pitching organizations in ball is because they do that. So.
Doug, your pitching coach from last year that was here, Brad Goldberg, now up with the Guardians. What did working with him last year do for you?
He's just such a professional, like fresh out of the league. He shows a lot of professionalism, and he brought that all to us. I think he showed us how to work every single day, just like how to show up, get your work done, and be a professional. So makes me excited to see him hopefully soon. But I'm really excited for him and his opportunity because I know he's perfect fit for the job.
What was one takeaway from spring training for you?
Well, let me think. I think when I went out there in my first couple starts and I was throwing like exceptionally harder, and then I started to slow down to a more like reasonable speed, I think I realized that learning and getting better. I think I always knew this, but I think as I was going through it, I knew that learning doesn't just go straight up or straight down. It has its peaks and its valleys, but as long as you're trending upward, that's the direction we want to continue to be heading. And I think throughout my off season, I continued to trend upward with its valleys and setbacks, but just continuing to spring training taught me to just continue to keep looking up and forward.
Doug, what's your routine like when it's a little bit colder outside the pitch?
I have kind of thought, I've been thinking about it this a lot recently, is how I want to make April my advantage, not my enemy. I've been doing a little bit of cold water therapy. I know it's not much, but hey, I'm a Florida boy at heart, and I know that it's going to be chilly. I think not acknowledging it and just getting out there and doing what the job is, being professional about it, and knowing that I have to go get out, so it doesn't matter what it looks like outside. So just being professional.
Where did your love for the game start growing up?
It's a really good question. My dad had instilled in me at a very young age just baseball, and I think he always wanted this for me. And seeing his love for the game, it just kind of filled me with a love for the game. And as I continue to get into it, I think I learned just like how many little things you can learn about baseball every single day. And that's what I try and tell other people is like find little things every single day that you love about the game, and you'll find something. It's a tricky game.
Were there particular players you root for or try to model yourself after?
Nobody in particular that I really like modeled my game after. I like looking at how like pitchers' mentalities, I guess. And I think people think of Doug Nikhazy and they think of the fiery, crazy Nikhazy character. And I think I told myself more recently I want to have more of an internal fire and less of an external fire. And I think I looked at a guy like Greg Maddux, who you never saw him out of control on the mound. And I think that internal fire made him who he was. It wasn't that external craziness that made him who he was. So I think that's something I've tried to replicate. And I think it's something you'll see from me in the 2024 season.
Thanks, Doug.
Sweet.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you all.
I remember the at bat and like my approach, and like it was, get a fastball, swing a first pitch fastball if it's there. But as far as thoughts go now, I was just happy to see it go.
What do you feel you still got to work on in your life?
There's a lot of things. I mean, every day that's the goal is to come out here and find something to work on and find something to work on throughout the year. Personally, I think for me, there's approach things in the box I need to work on, jumps and reads out in the outfield, base running for sure. So I'd say like everything.
Chase, what was your favorite thing you did over the offseason in particular for this season?
My favorite thing I did over the off season. Man, I'm gonna be honest. I stayed away from baseball in the off season. I would hit in the cage and work out pretty much daily. But man, my entire focus in the off season was stay away, just be mentally like happy to come back and physically healthy was the big thing.
Chase, your mindset when you come in as a top prospect and then you're coming in with the guys in spring training. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean it's great. I mean, to me personally, that doesn't mean a thing. Like
Sure.
The prospect numbers, like regardless, I got to come out here and perform every day, just like all those other guys. So it's just a number to me.
Cool.
I think that's personally the best way to look at it. Like, keeps me relaxed. Don't look too far ahead or anything like that.
Chase, what are you looking forward to Friday night when you step in the box as an Akron Rubber Duck?
Just the crowd, the atmosphere, back to actual competitive, real baseball. I think that's what everybody's looking forward to.
When you were growing up, what team did you root for?
So I didn't necessarily have a team. I went to a bunch of Orioles games and Pirates games out there. I mean, PNC Park is beautiful, but as far as like rooting for a team, I didn't have anyone in particular.
But I heard you were a fan of Mike Trout.
Yeah. As a player-wise, Mike Trout for sure. But I actually still, the only time I've seen him play was the World Baseball Classic when it was in Phoenix last year.
Did you get to meet him?
No, I haven't gotten to meet him. But I played against him in spring training. But other than that, yeah.
What was that like?
That was unbelievable. That was a little starstruck, like warming up, watching him on the other side. I got to he came in from center and I was on first, and I got to pass him there. That was cool.
Who impressed you on the Major League Club for the Guardians, being around them in spring?
One that stuck out to me was Quan. Not necessarily just like, obviously he's an unbelievable ball player, but just the way he goes about his day. He's hard worker, like does everything the right way. He's the type of guy like that is always working on something every day. Like Gold Glover, unbelievable outfielder, still the hardest worker in the outfield every single day.
Chase, I feel just a few years ago, you were looking up some of these major league guys, and now you're one of the guys here that everybody's looking forward to talking to.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, it's kind of stuff you don't really like. I don't know. You don't really think about when you're younger. Like you always picture this moment. You always picture being around those guys, and once you're actually there around them, it's a little starstruck feeling. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, it's just a ball game. You gotta believe you belong and have all the confidence in the world, and just go play.
What's that one moment you've always pictured? Game-winning walk-off slam, game-winning walk single?
Definitely like a walk-off homer in a World Series game, and something like that at home would be probably the most like picture-perfect moment to happen.
What was your conversation like with Stephen Vogt at the end of spring training when you know that you're going to be going elsewhere than a lot of the guys that you played with?
No, it was great. I mean, The thing about him is he's awesome at communicating with us. Like I got to know him really well throughout the entire spring training, and at the end he was just like, "You're gonna be a leader. Keep doing your thing, and work on the things you need to work on, and the rest should take care of itself."
What did the Arizona Fall League do for you last fall?
Yeah, that was awesome. It was an awesome experience. I mean, for me, like, it was huge because I needed those at bats. Like, only playing half a year, I needed the rest of those at bats. I needed, to stay healthy and show I can play every day. And but on top of that, getting to meet some of the guys like Manzardo, building a good relationship with him, and a bunch of guys from different teams was a cool experience.
You have a favorite moment from spring training this year?
Favorite moment from spring training? Not necessarily. Probably the first homer, just because, like, I mean, that's everybody's probably first favorite moment,
Sure.
in an environment like that. But I think, getting to just be in the clubhouse with, those guys, Jose, Nailers, like all those guys that, you've seen on TV for a while. And even like, when you're at the facility kind of looking up to and being like, dang, like, those are the real dudes. Being in the clubhouse with them, being around them, hearing what they're talking about, that was probably the coolest thing about it all.
Did any one of them give you any pointers?
Not necessarily pointers, but I got to joke around with Naylor a lot, and got to talk to Hosey a little bit. But I think a couple of the outfielders, Kwani, Brennan, took us under their wing a little bit, and so we got to joke around with them, build some good friendships there.
The weather's going to be a little chillier than it was in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
Are you used to playing in cold weather?
Yeah. I'm from West Virginia, so high school ball was snowing for us. JMU was cold in February, freezing in February. So a couple days, the cold's not going to be a problem.
Clearly, the end goal is to make it to the tip top.
Yeah.
Do you have very specific goals for this year alone?
No. My only goal, like, just with what's happened recently, is stay healthy, play every day, show I can play at like a full potential every day. Don't be dragging around on the field after 4 straight games or something like that. Get a good routine going. I've kind of been messing around with some stuff the last year and a half about what I go about through my day, and I think really get that down and stay healthy, and the rest will take care of itself.
What's your pregame routine look like?
For me, it kind of varies. Like, kind of depends on the day. If we have on-field BP, it's a little bit longer than normal. Like, come in. I'm usually here giving myself about an hour to get ready between stretching and stuff before practice starts. And then, go through the pregame BP, whatever's on there for the day. And I'm a big, chill out guy. I'll chill. I'll go maybe take a nap or something. Hammer some caffeine and then start the game. Some days I'll just take some swings in the cage, come out and play. So I think that's kind of why I haven't developed a set routine yet, because I'm not very I'm superstitious, but I'm not down to the wire. I'm very much adaptable to when things go wrong throughout the day or something happens. So just making sure I'm ready by 7.
Chase, are you excited to play as yourself in a video game?
Yeah. I actually submitted for you get a real 99 card, if you're in pro baseball, and they'll give it to you on the show. And yeah, they got my stance and everything down. It's sick.
Bring the Guardians a championship in the video game, will you?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Akron Rubber Ducks Media Day. It's Mike Vorhies and Jay Wilhelm. Guys, what a phenomenal day we have had. Currently in the background right now, there is a game going on. It is a practice game with the Akron Rubber Ducks. As you can see, it is not live BP. It's an actual live game. Jay, what was one of your takeaways from just this awesome event?
The food that they are going to release to everybody this year is phenomenal. We had a chance to try 4 different dishes, which we will release what those are later.
We got pictures.
We got pictures. We got
So
a taste
good.
of it. They're so good. We even went through and ranked them like we had to.
We did, absolutely.
So good.
We had a chance to listen to Chase DeLauter, Cleveland Guardians' #1 prospect. Did some media time. We also got to talk to Petey Halpin, starting center fielder for the Akron Rubber Ducks. We got to talk to starting pitcher Doug Nikhazy. He will take the hill for the Rubber Ducks on Friday night. We got to hear from new Akron Rubber Ducks manager Greg DiCenzo, he was incredible. Jim Fander, the GM, spoke to us a little bit ago before we came out here. This has just been an absolute amazing experience. We will post the videos. We will post the pictures of the food. Guys, the food, oh my gosh, I can't say enough about the food. Oh, it was delicious. I wish I could go back in and have seconds, possibly thirds, maybe fourths. I mean, that's how good it is. But folks, again, shout out to 3-3 to Go for letting us attend today, Akron Rubber Ducks Media Day 2024. We actually got to talk to Jim Clark and Marco Lanave, the radio announcers for the Rubber Ducks. They were phenomenal as well. Yeah, just an amazing experience today. Can't wait. We'll be posting more as the day progresses. So just wanted to hop on, tell you guys where we've been, what we've been doing, and yeah, it's not your normal Wednesday, but it's been a pretty good Wednesday. We got to chalk this one up. So we'll fade out. We'll let them watch maybe a pitch or two.
Yeah, they're doing a scrimmage right now, an inter-squad scrimmage, as you can see in the background, live pitching, the whole thing. We were down on the field earlier. Field's in great shape,
it is.
Even with the way the weather has been lately. So the grounds crew, they've been at it, and they've done a phenomenal job because this thing's ready for Friday night when they open up the season.
Yeah, folks, if you don't have tickets for Friday night to come down here to the Rubber Ducks, you should. There's going to be fireworks. The temperature, game time temp, I think was 41. It'll be a little chilly, so bundle up. But come on down. I can't wait. I know Jay will be here. I'm gonna do my best and be here as well. But yeah, Akron Rubber Ducks, man, catch the fever. It's going to be a wonderful season, and hopefully we'll be bringing you some reports as the season goes. So until next time, folks, deuces. Be nice to each other, would you please? There, I said it.
Be nice.
Be nice.